Trophy wife wanted to teach women how to secure a provider husband and live their best lives as a trophy wife, just to find out that she married a monster and it came with dire consequences for herself and her children. This is the type of things that she promoted on her website.
So, men, especially masculine men, are natural hunters. The first part of the chase, after you attract them, they'll probably want to get your number. So, I would say don't give them your social media. And don't make yourself easy to find on social media either. So you don't want to answer on the first call or the first text. You want to give it some time. I know that a lot of women, we already know to do this, so that's not really new. I think that sometimes when we meet a man that we're like, oh my gosh, like he has his stuff together, like he could make a good husband. I could see me being his trophy wife. You ladies get too excited and then you're giving a different energy. You're becoming the one that chases and you never want to be that girl. Keep that same energy as if he was a broke, ugly Dusty. No, not exactly, but so,
This woman had to give y'all the signs that you dating a dusty.
All right, ladies, let's talk about 5 signs you're dating a Dusty. So, first sign is he has asked you to borrow money. Now, this is a sure sign that your man is a Dusty. Real men would never stoop so low to ask a woman for money. Second sign, he may not have asked you for money, but he depends on you financially. So if you all live together, then he depends on you to help pay part of the bills. As in, he depends on you to help pay part of the rent. He depends on you to help pay part of the car note, part of the car insurance, or any other necessities. Third sign is he's super fine. Now, ladies, most men that are super fine are Dusties. And the reason why this is because men that naturally look good, as in they have good height, they have a very nice face, nice body, these men don't feel the need to work as hard in their career and becoming successful because they naturally can attract women based off how they look. And when a man can attract a woman based off of how they look, they have no incentive to become successful because ultimately men strive and achieve so that they can get not only the life, but the woman that they desire. Fourth sign you're dating a Dusty is he is your same age. Ladies, I just don't agree with dating men your same age because men are 10 years behind mentally. So, in my opinion, you have to at least date 10 years up for them to even be on the same playing field mentally. Otherwise, you're the mature one, you're the adult, you're the mommy in the relationship. And you don't want to be that because how can a man truly lead if he's not mentally capable of doing so? And my husband is 20 years older than me. And even though he's 20 years older than me, because I am mature for my age, we have a great balance. He's not too old, but he's also not too young. He's the perfect age for me to be able to lead, and he's someone that I can respect. He has accomplished things in his life, and he is truly a high value man. And I think it's really hard to find a high value man that is the same age. Not saying that it's impossible, but it's definitely rare and not likely. So if he's your same age, most likely he's still trying to build, and you don't want to get caught building with a man. You don't want to have to be relied on to pay half the bills, to take care of this, that, and the other, because what if you get pregnant? Are you going to have to go stand on your feet? Are you going to have to go to work with morning sickness? Are you going to have to put your child in daycare at 6 weeks because you have to work? That's just not a good situation, and that's not something that I would wish on you ladies. Now, fifth sign is his accomplishments are always in the future. If a man is always talking about accomplishments that are future based, and everyone should have goals that they want. Everyone should have goals in the future. You should never stop striving to achieve more. But when I say this, I mean he does not have a track record of any kind of success. He has not either graduated college, he has not secured a high paying job, he does not own a home or any other assets. If he's always talking about achieving these things in the future, then sorry, but you have fell in love with potential. And maybe that's the right guy for you, but it's not right now. It's not. He's currently a dusty trying to build. And ladies, don't get caught building, okay? You deserve better.
I think that, yes, there are things that come with pretty privilege, but also things that it doesn't take away from the fact that a person wants to accomplish a goal. And there are some fine men out there that's putting in that work, that's trying to get to the bag, that is really focusing on building, and they searching for somebody that want to build with them. Man. So if you find, okay, if you find, I ain't like her. I don't want somebody that's ugly. I don't think you a dusty. Third one that she gave, which was very interesting. You can't really trust somebody like her when she's talking about maturity, because she had a kid at 17 years old. So she was forced to mature. And she kept talking about age gap. You know, women are 10 years mentally ahead of men. It depends. Yes, most of the time women do mature faster. However, I think that you need to be very cautious with age gaps, because there are other things that come with that age gap. When you're dating somebody that's closer to your age, you guys are on the same playing field. There may be a varying in degree of ambition. You may know what you want to do quicker than he knows, but that's not always the case. A lot of what she was saying in this particular video is you being reliant on a man's accomplishment and what he can do for you. So to me, when I'm listening to this, it sounds like she's the dusty. Oh, get your man 10 years older than you because he's already accomplished. Okay. Are you accomplished? If you're not meeting a standard that you expect someone else to be held to, you shouldn't be talking about it. If a woman is in her 20s, she should not be dating a man that's in his 30s. Why? Because you are at different stages in your life, regardless of how mature you think you are. Like she kept saying, oh, she's mature for her age. That is a breeding ground for a predator. That gives them the excuse to mess with you. Somebody that is 30 has 30-year-old baggage that someone in their 20s probably doesn't have, because somebody that's 20 is 1 year removed from being a teenager. Their frontal lobe ain't even developed. They trying to figure out what they doing in their lives. They want to go party. They want to go have friends. They got a whole bunch of energy, goofy, want to live the best life, do this, that, and the other. Somebody that's in their 30s, okay? They still might want to be able to party, but at this particular age, you didn't been there, done that. And the stuff that you used to find fun, it ain't that no more. You starting to get serious about your life and where you're going. And you done been through some stuff. So when you see men that are targeting people that's 10 years younger than them, most of the time it's because of control. It's control and manipulation. They want to groom you into what they want you to become. And because you haven't had that experience, you don't know. Your question should be, why doesn't he date somebody closer to his age? Why won't the women his age date him? Most of the time, the women that's his age won't date him because they already know what he's about. They already know how he get down. They done saw his game. They saw how he moved. You, on the other hand, you fresh to this. See, she dating somebody that's 20 years older than her.
Hey ladies, welcome back to The New Trophy Wife. Today I'm going to be sharing my story with you guys about how I went from being a single mom to a spoiled housewife in less than 1 year. And you can too. So, I had my first child when I was 17 years old. I intentionally got pregnant with my boyfriend at the time and basically turned into a child raising a child. I, a few years later, had my second child. So after having two children and being a single mom, I think that my self esteem was definitely low. I didn't know that at the time, but if I think back about the kind of men that I was choosing, it definitely was a reflection of my lower self esteem. I think that growing up, I was not taught the kind of men that I should be looking to attract and be in a relationship with. My mom drilled into me, oh, go with the man that's going to be the best breeder. And I think society drilled into me to go after the thug, the street dude, the swag type dude, or whatever you want to call it. But neither one of those was the best approach to going about dating and attracting a husband. So after having my second child, I was working hard. I was making really good money. I think I was making about maybe 90K at the time, which for me as a 24-year-old woman was good. I thought I was doing good. I had my own plates. I owned my car. I was very self-sufficient, all about the mindset of, oh, I can do it by myself. I don't need a man, as so many of us modern women say. You know, I can do it all by myself. And I soon realized after one Christmas of it just being me and my two boys that I wanted a family. Hey ladies, welcome back to The New Trophy Wife.
Her, she wanted a family, right? She got 2 kids. So you got some men, like the fine men she was talking about. Some of these men don't want women with children. So some of her options was cut off.
That everything that glitters is not gold. I happened to come across Shira Seven on YouTube, and she completely changed my life. And she basically taught me what a high value man is and what to look for when trying to find a husband. So I ended up taking my sister's advice and signing up for eHarmony. I think the second person that I matched with was the man that I'm married to now, my husband. And it was very different. My husband and I have a 20-year age gap, and he was not the first older man that I dated. And so when I met my husband, I knew right away almost, and people say that, but it was definitely true. I know it sounds cliche. Just from our first date, it just felt natural. I felt like I just had known this person already. It was so comfortable. So we went to a really nice seafood restaurant, and it was great. It was an amazing first date. And mind you, I think we both were kind of just dating different people at the time, and that's definitely something that I recommend if you're looking to, find a husband. It's not just dating one person at a time. It's not good to put all your eggs in one basket, but we had a great first date, and I think he ended up asking me to be his girlfriend on the first date, and I said I would think about it. I'm not just going to agree to be your girlfriend just after meeting you, because I know that you just want me to be your girlfriend so that you can get in my pants. So I didn't agree.
Girl, stop lying. You knew that Igga was old. 20 years older than you. You was 24. That means he was 44 years old. Heck no. Nah. Nah. See, her frontal lobe wasn't developed.
And we both were, we were talking, but then for some reason we kind of stopped talking for a little while. And we both were dating other people and doing our own thing. And then I had gotten into a serious relationship with somebody, and I ended up falling for the girlfriend trap. But that guy had really been investing a lot into me and doing a lot for me, so I kind of felt like I had to agree to be his girlfriend, because he asked me multiple times, and I finally agreed. So after me and him broke up, it didn't feel good. It didn't feel like a family, the kind of family that I was wanting. So I ended up breaking up with him, and we were living together. We were living together, and I just packed on my stuff and left. And it was crazy because the next day, my husband, my now husband, reached out to me and was like, hey, how are you doing? And I told him, I just got out of a relationship, and I kind of told him a little bit about why. And he was telling me like, oh, those are my boys, and he had genuinely really connected with my kids, and he was not the kind of man that was just be nice to them to get to me. Like, it was very genuine, and that was one of the things that I really loved about him. That was something that stood out about him versus other men that I had dated, was he really embraced the fact that I had children because he wanted children. And so, he was talking, my lease was going to be ending very soon, which is why I went ahead and moved in with my person that had became my ex. We started living together, and I told my husband, I was like, hey, it was so embarrassing to admit, but I was like, I need a place to stay because my lease is ending, and I just broke up with my boyfriend, and maybe, even if it's just like for a couple weeks, it's okay. Just so I look for, somewhere else, because I had planned on needing to find somewhere else. And he was saying, well, if you're going to live with me, it's going to be as my wife, not as my girlfriend. And I was like, well, how spontaneous are you? And he laughed, and he said, very spontaneous. So then I was like, right. So we started entertaining the idea of getting married.
As y'all can see, he caught her in a desperate situation, and she was making some foolish decisions because, ma'am, you got 2 kids. Why are you moving in with a man that you not serious about and that you knew that you didn't want to be with? And then you leave that spot and you talking about having a man chase you, right? And you like, hey, I need some place to stay. But you was self-sufficient, so why you just didn't go get you a place to stay until you could find you a more stable situation? Because remember, you was making $90K a year. So it shouldn't have been a problem for you. And see, her husband saw that she was easy. He wanted to take advantage of that. Because ain't no freaking way. You jump from one relationship to the next and you got kids with you. That's not very smart, ma'am. That's pretty dumb on your part.
Right. So we started entertaining the idea of getting married, like, immediately. And I, didn't want to get my hopes up. So I just said that, he's saying all these things, but I'm going to see what action he takes. And so I had just got paid, and I was like, okay, we seem like we're really talking about seriously entertaining the idea of getting married. So I'm going to go and get the wedding ring. We were talking about getting married like the next week, and he was out of town in Colorado, so we hadn't seen each other. This is all talk over phone, over FaceTime. So I went and got his ring. I think I paid like $300 for it. It wasn't like a super flashy ring like the one he has now, which is completely a lot better. But I went and got his ring, and the next time we talked on FaceTime, I was like, I did something. And he was like, what did you do? I was like, I got your wedding ring. So he was like, no, you didn't. Show me. So I showed him. I said, yeah, I actually did it. I don't know if you were really being serious, but, we were talking about getting married. So then after that, I think it was like the next day, somebody told me to go online and check my eHarmony profile. So I went on there, and I saw that he had updated his picture, and I was like, oh no, this dude is playing around. Like, I'm glad I didn't spend a whole bunch of money on this ring. Like, he was just playing, and I screenshotted it and sent him a picture, and I said, it doesn't seem like we're on the same page, so yeah, I'm done with this. And he texted me, he was like, or I think he tried to call me, and I didn't answer, and he texted me, and he was like, no, I'm serious, I am going to marry you, in caps. And I think that evening he ended up going and buying my ring. Yeah, he went and bought my ring, and the ring that he got me is not the ring I have now. It was a nice ring, but it wasn't nearly as big as the rock that I'm currently sporting. But when he showed it to me, in my head I said, it's not about the ring, it's about the marriage. And I definitely think that that's something that you ladies should keep in mind, is that if a man's going to propose to you, don't make it about the ring, because that can really turn a man off and make him think that that's all that you care about, is having a big ring, when it's more important to have the marriage. And I knew that in my heart. I was like, all right, I'm not going to say anything about the size of the ring. Still a nice ring. I'm going to take it, and we're going to get married. So we ended up getting married the next week. Everybody was shocked. Also, something that I want to let you guys know is that becoming his wife and really being the kind of woman that could just get a ring like that took work. At that time, I had really become a better version of myself, a better version of the woman that was dating thugs and, living in some kind of secular lifestyle. I had to become the kind of woman that a man would want to take around his colleagues and his mother, and be the woman that's adding value to him just by standing next to him. But yeah, I know it's kind of a interesting story, but
I also helped two of my sisters to get married. They both got married in less than a year as well. So I'm really good at knowing how to get women the ring and to get the kind of men that you would be proud of. So if you ladies are interested in learning more about.
Okay, now I want to just be perfectly clear with some of y'all out here. Don't let this woman fool y'all, okay? Because she got pretty privilege working on her side. It's about add value. The only thing she really had to do, bring around his colleagues, the only thing she really had to do was stand there and shut up. I'm just being for real with y'all. Because she pretty, right? Now, she who talking about, don't worry about the ring size. Just worry about the wedding. Sir, if you got money, I didn't find me a provider husband that's out here and got that dough like that. You really think I'm not gonna be expecting a big ring? You gotta, if you gonna be a gold digger, you gotta dig right. And you could see that her marriage wasn't what it was all cracked up to be. She kind of alluded to it.
One of the downsides of a man fully providing for you, if they have control, they're going to utilize it. So that's something to be aware of. If you don't want any of that, then marrying hypergamously is just not going to be for you, because they will want to keep an eye on things and make sure that, you know, you're not out entertaining some Dusty with on his dime. You know, they're going to monitor. All men would be like this if they could be, but Dusty's, you know, they can't. Mommy's talking, baby. Can I see on the iPad in a minute? Okay. All right, thank you. So, yeah. It's just kind of part of the life. But no, they're not. If you think that they're just going to be like, yeah, spend however much money, however, and go wherever you want. I'm not even going to be worried about it. They're not like that. That's not even a man's nature to be like that. Not at all. Only time a man is like that is because he can't control you, because he's not providing for you. And it's not to say control you, but it's more of a like, one, I think it's a protection thing, but two,
it's not.
They paying the cost to be the boss, and that's what they're gonna do.
She's speaking facts, and she used the proper word, control. That's why when she was talking about them Dusties and you not wanting to build with a man and him providing, you get with a man that's 10 to 20 years older than you so they can provide for you, that you getting with somebody that's going to control you, going to monitor everything you doing. When they say jump, you got to say how high, because they're controlling your money. They're controlling your life. You are financially dependent on them. You can't do nothing without them. She talking about they'll try. No, they will. And that's what was happening with her. Because she released this video on YouTube. How she married a monster. But she couldn't leave.
Hi, ladies. Hi, trophies. Welcome back to my channel. Or welcome if you're new here. If you hear any noise in the background, that's the new baby. A lot has happened since the last time that I recorded. I think the last time you guys saw me, I was in my second trimester, and yeah, I think I did post an update in the community section when the baby was born. And I said that I would be back soon, and that was a few months ago now. I thought that when I came back on here that it would be to maybe do like some kind of newborn favorites or meet my new baby or something like that, but unfortunately, it's been a little over a month since I had to end up leaving my husband. I honestly don't even really know where to start with this, just because it's just such a hard topic. And I honestly thought that by the time I got on here that I wouldn't have any tears left because I've just cried so much. It's like I built this channel and this whole brand around being this man's wife and trying to teach other women how to attract good men and provider men and all these different things. And I truly held my husband, or saw him, as the bar for what every woman should, type of man that, or type of husband that every woman should aspire to have. And I didn't realize that the person I married was actually going to be my biggest nightmare. So basically, when I first met my husband, as I've already talked about in another video, I think it was my single mom video, I explained, a little bit about how we met. I thought that he was my Prince Charming. I thought that he was my knight in shining armor, and he portrayed himself to be this amazing, upright, righteous Christian man, and I believed him.
The Bible tell you to try every spirit to see whether or not they are of God, and people just be skipping over that verse for whatever reason.
I think shortly after we got married, and this is something that I haven't talked about, I started noticing like certain things changed with him. And I just started to see a few things that I didn't like. But I honestly thought that some of these were things that I could get past.
Okay, so she puts up here, she says that he awed her 4 times in the first few months of their marriage. Major red flag, and ma'am, I hope you heal from that. And I know a lot of people, some people stay in crazy situation, but that doesn't mean that they don't need to heal from it.
It's like sad to even say like I could get past some of these things. I don't even know where to start. My 4-year-old daughter. I was changing my daughter, my 4-year-old daughter, and I noticed that when I changed her, she was red and very sensitive. And immediately, my first thought was, did someone touch her? Oh God. Gosh. So I asked her, I said, baby, did somebody touch you? and she ended up saying it was Daddy. I felt like my world ended on that day. My husband wasn't home at the time when she told me, but I knew he would be coming home soon, so all I could do was just say, "Don't tell him that you told me." And I just instantly started trying to think of how I could get my kids out of the house, because I knew if I confronted him or asked him about it, that he would just lie, and that he would probably just continue to keep doing stuff to her, but just become more covert or more sneaky or whatever. As soon as my husband got home, he was actually picking up the boys from school, my two older boys from school. As soon as he got home, I told him that I was gonna go Halloween shopping with my sister, because I just needed an excuse to get out of the house with all the kids. And I knew if I said something like, "Oh, I'm going to the grocery store," that it would be suspicious. Like, why am I bringing all the kids, and like packing things, like things that we would need and things like that. So going Halloween shopping was the best thing I could think of to just hurry up and get the kids out of the house. I'm sorry, I had to get myself together. So when I got to the hospital, they basically told me that we had to go to another hospital because they didn't do physical exams, like that kind of physical exam there. So a police officer escorted the kids and I to another hospital where they were able to evaluate my daughters. It ended up coming out that he had actually been touching both of my daughters, who are only 2 and 4 years old. It still feels like a dream. Like, when this first happened, I just kept waking up every day and just hoping that this was a dream. Literally my worst nightmare. RAPE. That's how I came to be. And was also, abused as a child.
Oh my gosh. What I will say is this. First and foremost, God bless her family. Mm. Ma'am, God bless you and your family and your daughters and your sons. And one of the things that came to my mind is I hope that she gets her sons checked too. Because perversion has no bounds. And a lot of times we see things happen to our girls, but we don't focus on our boys too. So if he was doing that to his daughters, ma'am, you need to go get your sons checked because he could have been doing something to them as well. Obviously, these are allegations, but I hope justice is served because how dare you to a child? I don't care what type of lifestyle or things that she promoted. The fact that you would do that to a child is disgusting, and it's reprehensible. And hopefully, if it's true, she can file some charges. And there are multiple ways to go to hell. Surf, pick one. Um, and one of the things that I would say is I'm glad that she chose her children, that she listened to her daughter. She got them out of this situation the best way she knew how, and she left immediately. And she sought medical attention. And I think that, she deserves a high five for that. And it's obviously that she's been going through some things and she needs to heal up. And it seems like a generational curse because, her mother was art, and that's how she got here. She also experienced some trauma herself as a child. So I hope that she's able to heal and her children are able to heal from this. That's what I would say. Now, a lot of people, they did blame her mentor, so to speak, Sprinkle. But she said, this isn't my fault.
I watched the Trophy Wives video, and as a mom and family, but I love the conversation about the detriments to the sprinkle mentality.
If anybody marries somebody after 1 week, they dumb. I'm sorry. Sprinkle. If you dumb enough to do that, I'm sorry for you. I'm sorry. But if you're sitting out there, you learned everything from me. Did you learn how to be smart? Did you learn how not to be desperate? You didn't learn from me? Did you hear when I said stop being desperate? Did you hear when I said don't be a pygmisha? Did you hear when I talked about background checks? Did you hear when I talked about all this other stuff? About not dealing with men if you have kids until they're old and grown enough to speak for themselves and be in school and whatnot. Did you not hear when I said all of that? Don't blame me. I tell people all the time, don't say my name if you are desperate and being pygmisha. Don't claim me. If you are desperate and you're not smart enough to get the bag, flip the money, have options. If you stupid, don't claim me. If your IQ is low, please don't claim me. I teach women to be smart, not desperate. If you're desperate, don't claim me.
Right, man. And like I said, man, she has a lot of healing that she needs to do. And if it is true that he did that to his children, those aren't the first children that he did it to. There's a reason why older men like that target young women. Why they don't go for people their own age. Why he felt comfortable violating you. Because he knew you had nowhere to go. Because he was controlling you with money. And he was providing you with a lifestyle. And he sold you these bag of goods. Be self-sufficient. Be able to rely on your own accomplishments and have something for yourself. Don't be afraid to build with someone else, especially if that is your husband and he's putting in the work and he's going somewhere. Don't build with a dusty, but build with your husband, build with your family, and make sure that you have your own, men and women. Have your own. Be able to provide for your kids on your own. If you have to. Now it's obvious she started a GoFundMe. Y'all could donate to it if y'all would like. I'ma just go ahead and give her a like. And I'ma watch the end of her video. She done raised $2,720. I don't know what her goal is. Oh, $1 was her goal. Hopefully, she able to get on her feet. Now this video got over 2 million views. So she done made a solid paycheck from this right here alone. This has been helped her to get her someplace to stay. Cause YouTube about to cash that. Her check is the 20th. Girl, you get your money this week. You been got your money this week or the beginning of the next week. Congrats to you. Cause she in the money right now. Spend it wisely. Use it for some therapy for your children. God bless.